today we're going to be on the second part of the coastal camp where I made a mistake. And since then I've given it a lot of thought. So today I'm going to be discussing in a little bit of detail what to do when wild camping and how it affects you with the law and the legislation that are involved within the UK and that. Also, I'm going to be doing the usual sort of content where I have some bushcraft cooking, some wild swimming, and we're off on an adventure. Come along. And yes, we are in the van again. My apologies. Here we are at the drive and Skype section once again. Don't worry guys, we will get back to the normal walk and talk very shortly, but just thought I'd share some thoughts I was having with you guys really, just to give you a bit of an insight on my plan. As I said, now I'm heading towards mid-Wales. I'm from southeast Wales, that's where I'm located at the moment. So instead of going down the M4 corridor to get over to Pembrokeshire, I'm going to head into mid-Wales, which is very rural, lots of farmland, some obviously obvious mountain ranges which are absolutely beautiful, the Brecon Beacons, fantastic, world renowned. So I'm going to drive up through into the Brecon Beacons. There's a lake that I see on the maps, and you see there's the reasons why I chose to go is out on its own. It's when I say out on its own, there's no urbanisation around. So there's a lake, so I've got a source of water. There's a pine forest all the way around, which without looking at the land registry, I can probably hazard a guess that it's highly likely to be Natural Resources Wales, which would be marshalled and looked after by a ranger. In a big area like that, it's unlikely that the ranger's going to be around checking all the time. When I'll be getting there with maybe an hour of darkness. That's a perfect opportunity to get a camp going, get some firewood processed, and get ready for cooking. Around about dark time, I'm just looking out the window out, and you'll see shortly that it's just drizzling a little bit here. So I've got a tarp tent. We'll try and get that up if needed and get set up for the evening. To recap, the reasons why I've chose the spot just off the map is there's plenty of resources, water, there's plenty of fuel, and there's plenty of timber there that I can use. And like I said, it's probably owned by Natural Resources Wales. And be careful with the legality here, perhaps. Don't want to go admitting on YouTube that I am actively wild camping on privately owned land. So just as a disclaimer, it's not really Natural Resources Wales. It's anyone's really. They'll have to try and find me whoever owns it. And there's something in that actually, guys, because the people that own some of the, if you look close enough, some of the people that own the big patches of land have never actually set foot there. They pay someone, a land agent, to look after it. And the same with country estates. They have estate managers. A lot of the people that own it are very rarely in the country. So for me, on a moral spectrum, and I've given this a lot of thought over the few days, I don't really care. I really don't care, as long as I'm leaving no trace. I'm making sure that I'm not exploiting the ecosystem and leaving a mark, not just like leaving a trace, litter and that sort of thing. You know, I'm not extracting too much from the ecosystem, you know, processing too much wood, or you know, the footfall is going to be minimal. It's a solo camp, it's me. So if you guys are interested in that and you've got a little bit of conscience on the matter, well, that's, you know, each to their own. But for me, the reason I do this is because I want to be outside. What gives anyone else the right? I don't feel like a bit of a dick saying this, but what gives anyone else the right to own that land, really? You know, well, they were born into this world, and they were gifted a vast amount of land that they'll never use, and they just use that to profiteer on. Well, they don't need that, you know, especially blocks of forestry and things. You know, it's not agricultural, so you're not impacting on a tenant farmer. So you know, if they're not, so they're not impacting on the tenant farmer, especially with crops, or even that, you know, with livestock. You know, we're not. So we're in there, we're doing that. Okay, so I'll leave it on that note. I'm just going to show you the Brecon Beacons on the way up. It's a fantastic spot. If you guys are ever around and want to have a little look, I do know for some lovely little spots in there. So, first one to comment, I will give you a good spot to go to. There it is, guys. So I'll give you a spot in the Brecon Beacons for wild camping. There, is it? Not bad views at all. Okay, let's talk about wild camping in the UK, the law and legislation that you may come up against if you've got to do that. Before we continue, I do need to put a disclaimer out, because I'm not going to advocate anyone breaking the law. I'm not going to encourage it, not in any way, shape or form. That said, if you ever do find yourself in a position where you've set up camp somewhere and you're not supposed to be there, I think it's important that you know where you lie in the eyes of the law. Okay, now I'll break this down. This is probably a separate video, but it's a long drive. I'm going to waffle on. There are grey areas, so if you can exploit those grey areas, then please do so. Or just do as I do, as I say, as I do as I do, as I say. Yeah, please do so. And the grey areas are: trespass is a civil matter. Okay? So for any of you that don't understand what a civil matter is, a civil matter is it's up to the individual that you're committing the offence against. So in your cases, guys, it will be maybe Natural Resources Wales. Now, you've got Natural Resources Wales are a big company. They have lots of finances. They have got solicitors, barristers, and they could utilise them to take action against you. But here's the but: it still costs money. Big organisations as well. In big organisations, people become very lazy and complacent. So I think as long as you don't rub anyone up the wrong way and you're caught to do something and you don't cause too much damage. I want to talk about damage because that's an important part of what I talk about, because the law changes when it's aggravated trespass. So what is aggravated trespass? Is when you're trespassing but you cause damage. So anytime you cause damage, for example, which would apply to us, is maybe a fire, even cutting a live tree down could be caused as damage. And use the button again. Unless they've got footage that you actually lit the fire, how can they prove that in a court of law? Unless they've got footage you actually cut a tree. And when I say cut, don't go cutting big trees down, but if you cut the deadwood tree, they may use that as damage. So if they haven't got that information, if you're in a police cell, wait. And but now this must be the worst case scenario, isn't it? If you get arrested for wild camping, you've had bad luck. But if you go to a police cell, it's not good. What I would suggest is don't use a duty solicitor. What's a duty solicitor? A duty solicitor is a person that is actually on duty, which is there on hand you can use. take advice from them by all means, but I think you need a specialist when it comes to wild camping, and I don't really know one. If anyone else knows one, well, that's something I'm gonna be researching, and I'll put it up there, because you need fox are grown. Yeah, no, you need a solicitor that is aware of that law and legislation. And I just cut you off there, guys. The Brecon Beacons, they're absolutely beautiful, aren't they? Even on a wet, windy day, absolutely fantastic. And Penavan up there, guys. You won't be seeing a lot at the top, would you? For sure. And there you have it, the famous Story Arms. Not bad views there, is it? Not bad views at all. And the reason you need a specialist is, he's still there, Van's there. No, and the reason you need a specialist is, guys, law is so vast. It's, you know, there's such a huge array of different laws and legislation, and a little like any aspect of life, really. Let's try and use an example from construction. You know, you have specialists, carpenters, plumbers, electricians. You have all these certain trades. They deal within the umbrella of a construction worker. So when you're trying to defend yourself, you want to have the best possible tools that you can to do so, and it probably will cost you some money, but it's going to cost you that anyway. Beautiful views. So I'm probably going to put this into a separate video, and I probably should have, but it was just something I want to share with you guys. And I think the next thing I need to mention is, guys, is I reached 100 subscribers this week. So big love and thanks to all my subscribers. I very much appreciate it. On that note, if you're watching this and you'd like to subscribe, please do so. It helps me massively. So hit the subscribe button there. Thank you, guys. Right, let's keep going. Yeah, if you stay tuned, guys, I will talk I will talk more about wild camping and the law and what to do and when to do it. It's very, like I said, it's a very complicated subject, but if you're doing it week in, week out, or you're thinking of attempting it, I've got some good tips or some good suggestions that you do later on in the show. You've got to love Mid Wales. Look at those houses. Not just that. Look at the fuel prices. Just paid 5 pence more a litre. Been done, mate. You've been done. Oh no. somewhere near. It's nice and flat. There's a bit of mist and rain, which is good for me because when we light the fire, or us, when we light the fire, the smoke isn't going to be too standoutish. I'm just coming into where I need with the spot. Obviously, you've seen from the map that I just put on that just checking out little areas. So if there's nowhere further on, we're going to come back here, I think. Park the van up there, get in, set up, get some food on the go. Fat wood. So, fire's up and running. Just gonna chuck some chili con carne on me, guys, that we're gonna knock up quickly. I'm not gonna make it too big. I'm not gonna sit out here for too long. It's a nice little spot, but it's not really an overnight spot. I'm not gonna put anything too big on there because I'm not gonna be here for a long time. So small twigs, just enough to heat some food up, sit down, have a warm for an hour or so, and then I'll be putting the fire out just as darkness is coming, really. Let's get some food on. I am absolutely famished. Looking good, guys, looking good. It is served. Well, fair to say that chili was absolutely chef's kiss. Beautiful. What I'm going to do now, guys, is I'm going to get, as you can tell, I'm in the van. I've cleaned the camp away, put the fire out. I haven't left no trace, so to speak, because it's still dark out there. But I want to come back and cook there in the morning. I'm going to cook a full English breakfast, but after I've been for a swim. But I'm going to cut you off there, guys. When you come back, part 3, it'll be breakfast, wild swimming in the lake, and maybe a trip down to the coast. Definitely a trip to the coast. Join me. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, if you could drop a like, if you could subscribe, that'd be fantastic. Peace and love. See you for the next one, or see you tomorrow if you tune in.